Hi, and welcome to Sway TV. I'm Kathy Stevens, and I'm a health professor as well as trainer, program, and product developer in the fitness industry now for over 40 years. Today, I'm hosting Sway TV on behalf of the Ab Lab. It is my pleasure as the head program developer for the Ab Lab to tell you a bit about the Ab Lab, as well as to share with you one of my favorite workouts, all things core and more. So let's start off by explaining what is the Ab Lab. Well, the Ab Lab is the official community for healthy core living. It will be a platform and a D-app that'll be able to be the connection or the connector of participants in fitness, whether you're a fitness trainer, whether you're just an enthusiast, whether you're a health club, a product developer. It's going to kind of combine all of these things on one platform in one community where you can share workouts, tips. If you join, you might even find a way to generate some extra income for yourself. So we're going to talk about that throughout today. But to start off, I want to let you know that if you want more info, you can always go to theablab.com and sign up, and we'll send you that info directly. But now on to our workout for the day. So as I said, our workout is going to be core and more. And before we talk about what we're going to do, I like to just explain, what do I mean by the core? We know that healthy core living, what does it tell you? A little bit of everything: how you sleep, how you eat, how you work out. Well, the core is kind of the same thing to the body. So it is the center, it is the central focus of everything we do. We think of it as all the muscles that surround our trunk and connect to our limbs. That's pretty much everything, isn't it? And what the core is responsible for is things like respiration, continence, stabilizing the spine, and generating all movement. So you can understand that by conditioning your core, you're conditioning yourself for every movement in life. And that's key. So in today's workout, we have to focus on 3 techniques. I always like to start my workouts with a technique overview. Why? Because I believe in learn and burn. What does that mean? You need to learn while you're doing it, learn why you're doing it, and then you're able to burn those calories and fire up those muscles to get the results that you really want. So what are my 3 techniques for my core and more workout? The first one is recognizing posture and alignment. The second one is bracing. And the third is connecting the dots of those 2. So if you've got a second, watch me and hopefully join these or try these things on your own when you can, or right now if you want to join me. The first is neutral alignment. Understanding that you want to have the head, and I'm going to back a little bit here. You want to have the head lined up over the shoulders over the hips or pelvis, knees in the direction of the toes, and everything lined up. So from the side, if you could drop a plumb line or some type of a line from my head to my heels, everything would be centered right in the middle. That's finding neutral posture. You would have a slight curve in your lower back and a slight curve in your cervical part of your spine. Those are neutral curves of your spine. One key way to line up and find that for yourself is to use a wall. I'm going to use my cabinet wall here and show you or demonstrate. If you place your heels to the back of the wall, lift your chest and push your shoulders back and the back of your head into the wall. So now you've got your contact points, your heels, your hips, your shoulders, and your head. And they should all be able to touch. As you tighten up a little bit in the middle, you should feel there's a natural curve at the neck and a natural curve at the lower back. Now, when you walk away, there you go. You've got your neutral alignment. Remember, neutral alignment isn't just for standing. It's also for seated posture. You might be sitting at your computer desk right now. It's also for when you're in hands and knees or lying on the floor. We're going to keep those points in mind throughout the workout. The second thing I talked about was bracing. What does that mean with your core? It means to, I like to say, engage the muscles, tighten the muscles, slightly contract the muscles without joint movement. Those all work. Bracing is just a 360 around the waistline. Imagine you could take your belt and just tighten it, and it would singe together everything and create this nice firm wall in the center of your core. So we want to be able to brace without interrupting natural breathing. So you want to be able to hold that little bit of tension, but still inhale and exhale properly at the same time, keeping good standing neutral alignment or any other alignment posture you're in. So bracing again is to create that little band of contraction that holds it all together in the center for the movements that are going to follow. And the third was connecting. What do I mean by connecting? Connecting the dots, the neurological connection from your brain to your body, telling you what you need to do, reminding you to stay in good posture and to brace, whether I'm just standing here stable or adding movement to it, whatever that might be. So today in our workout, 1, 2, 3, how's your posture? Are you bracing? And are you connecting the dots to the move that we're doing? Those are my technique tips for today. So I'm going to keep reminding you, keep them in mind. Before we get started, I have to remind you that you should always check in with yourself every day. How are you feeling? And if you haven't been working out for a while, keep in mind that you might want to check with your physician to make sure that there's not some underlying condition that might make it not wise, let's say, for you to start a new program. So on you. Please make sure that you're in good condition to do this workout. I'm going to give you a real quick way to see if today everything's in working order for this core workout. We're going to do a little screen. And the point of this screen, join me, come on, if you can, right here on Amazon, Sway TV, let's screen it out. So what I want you to do is go back into or get yourself into that nice standing alignment. Put your hands on your thighs and then slowly start to round forward, keeping your hands on your thighs, flexing the spine and reach towards your toes, hands on shins. Think about how this is feeling. Let your head drop. As you're coming down and going up, now we're going to come up. Ask yourself, am I feeling any pain in my spine? There might be a little stretching discomfort, but there should be no pain. So no pain in flexion. Second screen, hands behind the hips. Lift your chin and chest and start to arch back a little bit, still bracing those abs. And ask yourself again, am I feeling any pain anywhere in my spine? And then come back to neutral. If the answer was yes, you're feeling pain, you might want to sit this out and just watch what we're doing. Now, one more or two more, let's say. Lean to one side. Sense whether you're feeling any pain or just a little bit of stretching. Bring it back to the center. Go to the other side, same thing. Asking yourself, how does this feel? Am I sensing movement? Is it clean and free of pain? And then let's just try a little rotation, one direction. And then a little rotation in the other direction. Should feel kind of good. Bring it back to the center. And that is your screen to say whether you're ready to get going with this workout. No pain. Well, I don't want to say no pain, no gain. No pain is what we just want to say. Now let's get going. We're going to need a little bit of equipment today. You're going to need a ball. I'm going to be using this gorgeous ball that I bought on Amazon. And if you don't happen to have some type of lightweight ball, you could also use something as simple as a pillow, because we're just going to use it to give us something to hold and focus on or position behind our shoulders when we get to some of the ab work. If you have a ball, pull it out. If not, order one. And then we're going to use a light dumbbell set of weights, maybe 2, 3, 5 pounds max. Again, lots of these on Amazon. I love Amazon's neoprene dumbbells. They're one of my favorites. But we're going to use that a little later. I will also be using some type of a mat just to kind of protect my back once I'm on the floor so I don't feel any discomfort. I love the thicker mats that give me a good cush, and I will at the end of the show go over some of the products that I recommend, as well as answer any other fitness questions you might have. So please stick around with me. I have my trusty The Step platform, and when I get down on the floor, I'm going to use that so I'm a little more elevated. It just feels a little better to me. If you happen to have one and you want to pull it out during the floor work, please do now. And as I like to say, always hydrate. So make sure you have some water nearby so that we can get some good hydration going throughout the workout. You always want to try to keep sipping or drinking a few ounces of water, maybe every 10, 15 minutes. I'll give you a reminder, but if I don't, or whenever you want, feel free to get that water. So here we are, the Ab Lab on Sway TV, Amazon Live. We are ready to do all things core and more with me, Kathy Stevens. I hope you'll join me. I'm just going to put on a little bit of background beat for myself so I stay on time. We're not going to have any equipment in the warm up. So for now, just have it nearby. Again, I've got my core ball, I've got my weights, and they're just going to be ready and waiting for me when I get to that. All right, so let's start off. What did we talk about? Number one, were you listening? Standing alignment and posture. Head over shoulders, shoulders over hips, knees in the direction of the toes. Let's take a nice deep breath out. Inhale, fill up the lungs, and exhale. Inhale again. Now, if you're just joining me, I am on Sway TV. I'm Kathy Stevens with the Ab Lab. And if you have any questions, I'll try to catch them in the chat box and answer them throughout the workout. But for now, we're ready to work that core. And we're just thinking about our posture. And I want you to also think about bracing, number two, those abdominals held in a little bit. Oxygenating, using the deep core respiration, exhale muscles that are in charge of respiration. One more. Bring those arms down, and from here, we're just going to lean side to side, gently warming up the lateral muscles of the body. Just a little sway on Sway TV. Good. Take your time. If you feel like you need a little wider stance, feel free to step the feet out gently. Start to bend the knees now as you take that side to side movement. You can roll the shoulder back and down, just waking up the muscles before we start working them. Nice. Let's do 4 more, and 3, and 2, and then the last one. And now we're going to take the arm and we're going to just reach over and back, go back. Working through those back muscles, stretching and reaching. Notice that my other hand is resting on my thigh. That's a nice way to secure your posture as you brace and try to stay in neutral. Last one. Nice deep breath. Inhale, exhale, let it down. And then let's take that other arm and do the same thing. Up and over, pulling back, lunging, loosening, warming up. Today, we're really going to get a lot of great exercises in. Some will be focused more on stabilizing your core muscles, others moving. It's a combination that really is the best for increasing core strength. 2 more. Last one. Now let's bring it down. Place both hands on the sides. We're going to fold in half, and roll up. Awesome. Keep going. I want you to think about keeping your back nice and flat. We're going to flatten the back. Hey, Michael, how are you? Thanks for being here today. Flat back on the way down. Now you're going to feel this. Things are going good for me. I hope they're going good for you. All right. Again, Michael, you're one of the regulars. I've seen your name in the box before. Thanks for joining me today. Ready to work your core? All right, now hold here for the flat back. And from this position, engage those core muscles, lengthen that spine and reach one arm out, and then bring it down. So we're starting already to start to fire some of those stabilizing muscles of the core just by reaching with one hand out. Notice posture. I still have that nice long line with the head level with the hips, maintaining those neutral arches in my spine, whether it be in the lumbar or cervical area. Now, as we start to warm up a little bit more, let's take this move and alternate it. So one at a time goes up and back, thumbs to the ceiling, warming that shoulder girdle. Sit back in your hips a little and bend those knees. That's it. Breathe. Come on, use your breath. This is going to build up some core heat. Let's do 4, 3, 2, 1. Give it a rest. Bend the knees. Now stretch the back out and roll through. That was a nice warm up for the spine. Let's do a few more of those roll through stretches. Whew. Yes, we're live today, Dave. Oh, no, wait, you're asking if Dave is going live. All right, last one. stand nice and tall. Now just shrug it off, shake off the hand, and we're ready to start with our first core combo. So I want you to grab a weight. It could be 3 pounds at max, maybe 1, 2, 3. And for those of you that may not have any weights, a water bottle works fine too. So usually we've got about a half a pound of weight in a water bottle. So feel free to use a water bottle. Now, our first exercise is going to start at a nice wide stance. We're going to hold the dumbbell at our chest, hand on each one. No, I'm not at the studio. I'm at my home studio. Thank you to Amazon because I purchased all this stuff behind me so I could teach from home. All right, so the first exercise, we're going to reach up on one side, notice the pivot, and then we're going to pivot and push down. This is called a chop and lift. So we're going to lift up and chop down. Now, what's key about this? We do this for about a minute. Up on one side, down on the other. On one side, and you want to keep that weight running along your body, down your chest and shoulders, towards the knee, without rounding the spine. So you've got to keep that spine stable. That's why it's working the core. Notice my heels, they pivot. That's it. Down and up. Again, lift up and reach down. Lift up. It's going to work the shoulder girdle. It's also going to mobilize your hips for transverse, which is a fancy word for twisting movement. So important in life. You put things on a shelf, you come up, you bend down. You need your core to transfer that work. What are we thinking about? Number 2. What was number 2? Bracing with the abs. Okay, let's do 2 more of these. This is our movement. Then we'll go into a stabilizing move. That's the last one. Now from here, I want you to stay here, but I want you to bring this weight out to the side. Put your weight over one leg, one arm, and we're just going to balance it. Try to balance on that one leg. Align that toe and knee. Engage that core. Hold that arm in place. Now, if this gets too difficult, tap the toe to the ground, but try to keep the pelvis level, the arm off to the side. 30 seconds. Breathe. Stabilize. The other arm can counterbalance if you want. Woo, breathe. Here we go. And then for 30 seconds, we're going to add something to challenge this stabilized position. We're going to add a little half press. So press that weight towards the ceiling. Try to keep that leg up. This is not easy. We're right into it. Core and more here on Sway TV. Thanks to the Ab Lab. Let's push up and pull down with that arm. Put the toe down if you need to. You got 10 seconds. We're going to do 1-to-1 ratio. About a minute of movement to a minute of stable work. All right, bring it in. Ooh, boy. Did you feel that? So what we did to one side, we have to now do to the other side. So let's go ahead and go up and then pivot down, doing that cross chop, lifting up to the opposite side. Now brace with those abs. Pull that navel in, keep that head over shoulders, properly pivot the foot. Heel comes up, body lifts. Notice I'm not rounding my posture out. I'm not dropping my head, keeping everything tall. Excellent. Keep going. So this is the movement. This is building up heat, burning calories, using a lot of different muscles as the core controls your movement. So key. That's it. Breathe. Never hold your breath when you're exercising. Whew. That's it. Let's do about 4 more of these. Strong and long, long and lean. 3 more. It's all about core. 2 more. Last one. Now we're going to stay on this side. We're going to transfer the weight. We're going to stabilize. Now, if you have to keep that toe on the floor, that's fine. But if you can, try to lift that leg up. Tighten, brace, align, hold. Whew. 30 seconds. Now, at any time during this workout, take the lesser modification, put the weight down, sit down if you need to, but try to keep going with me if you can. I'm going to get rock hard core and abs. Here we go. Add that challenge if you like. We're going to finish off this stabilization with a little tease. Whew. That gets harder, doesn't it? 4 more. 3, you can do this. 2, 1, and relax. All right, refresh. Kick it out. How about some water? Whew. Ready to go to exercise 2? I am. All right, checking in the chat. No, Michael, as I said before, I'm here at my home studio. Love the fact that during COVID, I've been able to continue instructing and training on the computer. It's made a huge difference in my life and everybody else's, I believe, as well, because we've been able to keep a community. The Ab Lab is going to be that type of community where we can meet, greet, have fun, have giggles, share products, share expertise, and hopefully share a more healthy core life. All right, now this next one, we're going to rotate around. So instead of going up and down, we're rotating like a little wash machine. Still notice, because the spine, its main responsibility, besides keeping you upright in good posture and alignment, is to move you side to side, round to round, up and down. So now if you want to challenge this, let the weight come out a little further. Let the weight kind of tug you as you do this movement, and make sure that your knees and toes, just like in good standing alignment, they stay in alignment. They move with each other. Feel your core get engaged as that weight swings side to side, kind of in the middle. Keep it on the same plane. Whew. I can feel this. I hope you can too. I hope you're trying it with me. Even if you don't every rep, try it. Feels good. And if it doesn't, if you're having any pain or discomfort, please stop the movement pattern and just take a break. All right. You got this. We're going to do 2 more. We're going to do the last one. And now we're going to stand. I'm glad you like this. We're going to put this weight again in this arm. We're going to crisscross rotation. Hold it. All right, now here's our stable work. So this arm could be wherever it's comfortable for you, maybe on your hip, maybe counterbalance. The key is holding that core upright but rotated. Knee towards the opposite shoulder. 30 seconds. Here's where I should have mentioned. It's okay to have a chair or a wall nearby to help you stabilize. Awesome. Now for the last, we're going to add that challenge in, which is going to be a tap, lift, tap, lift. Good, 4 more. 4, 3, 2, 1, relax. Woo, I got a little chat message here. Where do you find out about the Ab Lab? It's right in the name, theablab.com. You can sign up. There's a place there for you to sign up for more information, because the platform is growing and we're adding people to it for free. And so it's important you check in. You can also email me directly at info@theablab, and I'll be happy to get you more information. I want you all to join. All right, so where were we? Second step. Why? Because when we did that stabilization work on one leg, we also need to make sure to do the same thing in the opposite direction. So let's start with our wash machine rotators. Notice my feet. They twist in the direction of my pelvis so that my knee stays in good anatomical alignment. I can keep the arms closer in to make it easier on my core. I can hold them further, that's called a longer lever arm, to make it more challenging to my core. Head is high, chest is up. I'm so glad somebody thinks this is great. Ooh, I hope you're doing it with me. This is not easy, that's for sure. These are the movements that really help elevate the heart rate, so you get a nice little cardio pump out of this as well. Make sure you're holding that weight properly so it won't slip out of your hands. Let's do 4 more. Let's do 3, 2, last one, and then we have to get on the other side. So we're going to bring opposite rotation, elbow towards the knee. This hand could be on your hip. It's about holding stable in rotation, head high. I'm just going to show you real quick how, if I had to, I could use, you guys stay there, stay there, stay there. So if I had to, I could have something nearby. So if I had to hold it, I could. Oops, I should probably have it a little higher. It would help, wouldn't it? All right, hold it, hold it, hold it. And then here we go. Out, cross, out, cross, out, cross, 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 cross. 4 more. Cross. 2 more. Core engaged. All right. Let's move this out of the way and get some water again before we go on to the next exercise. I'm really going to push you on the water factor because most of us walk around a little dehydrated and we just don't take the time. If someone reminds you, it helps. All right, so our next exercise is called the standing opposite arm leg reach. So you're going to put the weight in one hand. You're going to stand with your feet together. And we're going to start by just allowing the leg, the same leg as the weight is in, to slide back. Find core alignment. Remember, number 1 posture, head in line with shoulders, in line with hip, down. Now I'm on an angle, but I'm still in neutral. That's key. Remember to brace. Now, once you've got neutral aligned on the slant and you've braced, we're going to add the moving part of the exercise. Here we go. The arm comes up and down. The leg comes up and down. Now, does it have to go real high? No. It can just teeter a little bit, or you can try to lay it out and teeter all the way. The heavier that weight, the harder it will be. Let's try to do it with a thumb up. It's always a little friendlier to the shoulder girdle if you happen to have any shoulder issues. Take your time. There's no rush in this. You really want to think about tightening that core and lengthening that line. And if you're finding that it's getting a little too difficult, let go of the weight. It's a lot easier to do just with the weight of your arm. Always feel free to retract back to something that allows the form to be the primary focal point. So form and alignment first, added resistance once you've got it down. Let's do 2 more. Tighten up. Now, last one and hold. I'm going to put my weight on my thigh because this is not an easy posture to hold. You kind of want to have the arm alongside the ear, and you want that nice long diagonal line. Try to adjust if you can. The leg that's really working and stabilizing is this hip and pelvic on the opposite side, but all those nice spinal muscles that erect my spine or straighten my spine are being held in contraction as I brace with my abdominals. Hold that tension. And then from here, if I want to make it a little harder, I'm just going to add a pulsing action. I flex that back foot and I add this little tiny up-down motion with the back leg. Oh yes, it's not big. It's just teasing the chain. Here we go. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and done. Where'd you feel it? Remember, your pelvis is part of that chain and part of that core. I felt it right here in this nice hip muscle. All right. Whew. That was not easy. Let's go side to side. And then let's get ready on the other side. Okay, so remember, opposite. Front leg, front arm. Back leg in the back. We're just going to find core alignment on this side. Just get the body first. No arm needed. Nice and long. You need something to hold on to. Have it nearby. This is a nice height for this one. And then from here, let's go up and down, up and down. I could also use my wall. You know, these are not easy exercises. And progression is the key to safe and effective exercise. So find a way, whether it means not using the weight, holding on, doing less reps, but be aware of the level of progression that makes sense for you. We're all about education at the Ab Lab. Learn and burn, remember? Learn why, learn how, and then do it. Here we go, up and down. Again, I can use my dumbbell to add resistance, but the line and the balance and the core control are key. Let's do 4 more. Let's do 3. I hope you're trying this. Let's do 2, and let's do 1 more. Hold. Now, on the hold, I like to let go of the weight because this is hard. All right? Just hold it. I hold these about 30 seconds. If you need to hold the wall, feel free. It's all about core line from heel to head to fingertips. And then if you want to make it a little tougher, flex the foot and pulse like you're hammering the heel to the ceiling. Notice a pulse. I call it a pulse. It's just a very short range movement. Oh boy, I feel that. 4, 3, 2, 1, and done. Excellent. Sip of water and we'll move on to the next one. Now, for the next series of core and more workout exercises, brought to you by the Ab Lab here on Sway TV, thanks to Amazon Live, we are going to come down onto the floor. As I mentioned, I'm going to slide my step platform out because I want to just keep my posture a little elevated for camera reasons. And I'm going to take my nice thick, actually this is an Amazon mat as well, and I'm going to put it on top of my step platform. So it gives me a little added cush for the exercises. The next series is done on your knees. And let me just tell you, you have to have your ball nearby because as we get to the floor, we're going to be using the ball now instead of the weight. So you can put the weight away, for now anyway. Come onto your hands and knees. Now, you don't have to be on a platform. I just am because it does add a little ease to getting up and down. So I love using it whenever I can. But this next exercise, you can put a pillow under if you're on a hard floor surface. We're going to sit up nice and tall. Now, if this still bothers your knees, some of us have some knee issues, right? And so, if so, you can do this from a seated posture, and I'll show you that in a second. And as we're going through all these exercises, I really want to thank Sway TV and Amazon Live because I wouldn't have any of this equipment. I wouldn't even have this studio if it wasn't for Amazon Live. And if it wasn't for Sway TV, I wouldn't be able to share this new platform of the Ab Lab with you. So thank you so much for letting me host this today. And those of you that are watching, feel free to ask away in the chat box any questions you have. All right, so knees about shoulder width apart. This exercise is going to be again for the core. We need to tighten the gluteal muscles. And all we're going to do is lean back. I call this a V position to neutral and then back. And you're going to feel a nice little stretch in your quadriceps. Tighten your glutes, brace with your abs, keep neutral spinal alignment, in particular that lumbar and cervical vertebra. And then from here, just lean back and come forward. And lean back. You really have to tighten the abs and the buttocks at the same time. That's it. Try to keep that head moving. You know, I like to tell people to think of it kind of like a drafting board. So it's not going to roll. It's going to draft back at a nice long angle. Keep going. This feels so good to your hip and hip flexor muscles that tend to be a little overly tight if you're sitting in front of the computer too long. So I hope those of you that are on Amazon today live, if you're sitting, that you at least try a few of these with me. Now we're going to hold the isometric right here. It's going to hold it and just feel that core engage. Now I promised you I'd show you this from a seated posture for those of you. So stay on your knees if you can, 30 seconds. If it doesn't feel good, you can sit and hold here. All right, so that's the seated version. The reason I'm on the knees is because I love any excuse I can get to stretch out my hip flexors. Now, we add a little movement. We're just going to take the arms and do a little chop press, chop press. And again, that's wagging the tail. Keep those buns tight. Keep that core braced. Keep that alignment on the back lean and challenge it. Little pulse cross. Nice. You've got this. Keep going. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, come forward. Stretch out your back a little bit. Release it. Stretch it. And release it. Now, I'm going to take a second to grab my water because I want to have it nearby. The rest of the workout, we're going to be in this floor position. So you might want to move your water nearby if you have it with you. All right, so come on back to hands and knees. All right, now place your hand so that the palm is right under the shoulder on each side. Position your knees so that they're right under your hips. So you're really squared off like a strong table. Now, remember we talked about posture and alignment? Think about what that means to this movement. Think about how posture and alignment on your hand and knee position, how that might differ from posture or proper alignment in a standing. So here, your head is still in line with your shoulders. Your shoulders are still in line with your hips. Your abdominals are still braced so that you have a neutral curve here and a neutral curve there. Are you there? All right, so now we're going to take the ball. If you have one, if you don't have a ball, you can also take and utilize a pillow, a small pillow, or even just a dish tag rolled up. All right, so here we go. So with this first exercise, I want you to just take the arm and reach it out in front of you and squeeze the ball. Squeeze it. Feel the hand grip. Squeeze the towel, squeeze the ball. Keep that going. Stabilize. Hold, 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 and then bring that down. Now, we're going to do the other side. So same thing. Try to bring that arm alongside the head. Shoulder for me is a little sticky. I have a little bit of a frozen shoulder there. Put some mileage on it. So this is as high as it goes, pain-free. I can pull my palm up and squeeze that ball, but try to focus in on bracing, on keeping the spine in alignment. Pull up through the navel, square off the body, knees under hips. Every once in a while, you got to go back and spot check, don't you? And then bring that ball down. Keep the ball in the center for now. So now we're going to do the legs. All right, so I want you to put one leg up and I want you to hold it parallel to the floor. Just hold it, hold it. Keep that bracing feeling. Keep those arms right in line with the wrists, the end of the hip. If you want to make this harder, you can straighten the leg out. Now, from here, we're going to add movement. So curl and release. Remember, this is all about making it just a little bit tougher on that ability to keep the core solid. Breathe, breathe. Inhale, exhale. Lengthen, strengthen. Keep the neck in line. Keep the shoulder blades pulled down away from the ears. All right, now hold it. And if you can do this, I know this is a tricky for me. Put the ball between your calf and hamstring and then drop and lift while you hold that firmly in place. Oh boy, you're really going to feel some nice action here in the gluteal muscles. Again, you're going to be stretching those hip flexors, which I love to have you doing. Whew, keep going. Stay strong. You're going to start to feel a lot of tension building on the stable side. Remember, I said core training is not just about the movement, but also the stabilization of proper posture and alignment. Here we go. 4 more, and 3, and 2. Are you breathing with me? And 1. Bring it down. Bring the ball around and sit back for a second. And just roll the ball with this hand, pushing the palm into the ball. Now, if you don't have a ball, I'm really sorry because it does feel so nice when done on one of these pliable balls. Again, I got mine on Amazon. The gorgeous ball. Gorgeous ball. It's in my little carousel, so shop the show. All right, now we're going to come back up. We have to get ready for the other side. So square it off. Pull the abdominals in, neutralize your spine, bring that leg out and hold it. It can be bent. It can be a little lower, but your goal is to try to get that leg as parallel to floor as possible while keeping the pelvis level, the shoulder blades pulled down, the abdominals braced up, all those things we talked about. And then from here, we can add that movement. So we're going to take the ball, if you have it, or a pillow. We're going to put it and connect the dots between the hamstring and the glutes as we drop and lift, keeping constant tension in the hamstring. Make sure your neck stays in alignment. Don't let your head drop or tilt up. Those are both non-alignment positions that aren't neutral and actually lead to a lot of tension in those neck muscles. Take your time on this, no hurry. Drop and lift. Feel for the abdominals contracting. Feel for the hip and pelvic muscles that have to keep you steady on that leg that's on the ground or whatever surface you're on, or your mat. Nice, slow. If you start to feel any cramping in the hamstring, then of course, yes, you can ask me something, please do. I won't promise to keep my form as good while I'm talking, but I'll try. Maybe that's the other challenge, is try answering questions. Thank you. Kathleen, yes, I'm so glad you're following, and any questions you have, I'm more than happy to answer. So please add them in the chat box. All right, let's bring that down. Whew. Remember where we are, guys. Sway TV, Amazon Live, App Lab, the App Lab. Nice stretch for that hip. What did we do with this hand? We just rolled it around, pressing the palm down into the ball. All of these moves have an effect on the girdles of the body, the shoulder girdle, the pelvic girdle. So they're all there on purpose, and they're doing something, whether it's mobility, stability, or strength. It all adds up to floor core more. All right, so let's go ahead now for our next move. We're going to come off our hand and knee position into a sideline position. Put my ball to the side here. So I'm going to come over onto my hip. I'm going to come down onto my elbow, and that elbow is going to be right under the shoulder, stacking it up. So now think about this. If you're on your side, or if I'm on my side, help me out if you see anything that doesn't look aligned. But I still have to think about that number one, proper posture and alignment. I don't want my head tilted here. I don't want it there. I don't want my back slouched. I need to imagine that if you just took me like I was some type of a statue on the tilt and you stood me up, I would still be in that neutral alignment. And I mean, I'm having to pull up. I'm having to brace my abdominals. I'm having to line up and imagine. I like to tell people, imagine that you're between two panes of glass, maybe about this wide. All right. And now we're holding this. And the actual movement we're going to do from this, we call this the side plank, by the way, is a small hip lift. Now you can put one foot forward if that helps. You can also use this hand to help brace if you're a little weak in your shoulder girdle. And then you're just going to lift the hip and drop it. And it's not about a big lift. It's almost like you're just pulling yourself into that straight line and then setting back down a little bit behind you. Up, get between those panes of glass. Try not to let the neck sink. Try not to let the rib cage slouch. Really lift and stay in as neutral a position as possible. Lift an inch or two and come on back. That's nice. Awesome. Keep going. I see somebody in the chat room telling me their real name. Thank you for telling me that. It's so nice to have real and fake aliases, isn't it? That way you can peek in and out when you want to. Lift up and drop down. It's only moving this much, but it's engaging and utilizing all these lateral core muscles. Ooh, this is a hard one. Lift and drop. And then the last one, because I'm getting tired on this side, and we bring the knees together and we add what I call the clam shell. So as you're sitting tall and you're still maintaining that nice long line, you lock it in and then you rotate that leg in and out. This is such a great exercise for hip and pelvic mobility, as well as strength in that lateral medial side, the side of your buttocks. Looks so nice when it's toned. So let's see. So proud of you. The workout is great. Well, thank you, Laura. It's my friend Laura Badwin. Oh my gosh, Laura, I miss you. She's one of my old, not that we didn't use that word today. She's one of my mentors from AFA, the Aerobic and Fitness Association of America, back in the days when I was on their board. She was also on their board of training, and we had so much fun together, helping people learn how to be good instructors and trainers. Still a passion of mine, and I know that Laura as well. All right, let's go ahead and drop that knee now. I don't know about you, but as I come out of this, I'm going to sit real tall. There's a lot of stabilizing going on this side, so now we're going to stretch it a little bit, just a little bit. Whew. Thank you, Laura. It's Linda. Hey, Linda. Welcome. Welcome to Sway TV. Welcome to the Ab Lab. Welcome to my workout, all things core and more. All right, so we're going to come on to the other side. As I said earlier, what we do on one side, we do on the other side, stay balanced. So now, again, we always start with number one, posture and alignment. That's what we discussed in the technique portion of this class. Elbow under shoulder, spine starting from the head down to the pelvis in line, like you're stuck between two panes of glass. No slouching or crouching. Stay nice and high on this side. First, just stabilize. Find the position. Recruit all those core muscles. What was number two? Brace with the abdominals. Number three, connect the dots. So have your brain communicate to your body what's coming next. We're going to lift the hip, but try to maintain all these core positions and techniques that we've discussed. Here we go. Up and down. So my hip is just squeezing up. I'm going to get a lot more activity out of this gluteal on this side. I'm going to get a lot more activity out of the bearing of weight in this shoulder girdle. And my core has to just engage to keep that great alignment through the movement portion of this exercise. And smile. Not necessary, but looks better, right? Here we go. Up and down. So glad you guys have joined us. I want to so thank Sway TV. We really want to let everyone know about the Ab Lab, theablab.com, because not only are you going to get some great workouts out of it, but so much more. It is a community, all things core, core healthy living, core workouts, core equipment. We'll talk about equipment in a sec. All right, last one. And then from here, remember, go back and reposition. I don't know about you, but I had started to slouch and let go a little bit. So my brain had to say, pull it up. Come on, Kathy, get that shoulder blade down, get that abdominal muscle and the region tightened or braced. And then let's add that hip rotation right here. Abduction up and out. Now, I don't know if you noticed this. This leg really is much less mobile than the other side. Why? Well, I tell you the truth, I have a little arthritis in this hip. I am over the 50 plus, 60 plus age category. So I have to work that much harder to keep my mobility that's natural before. And I have to recognize and maybe spend a little more time, a little more brain to body connection, a little more consciousness. Not that I can fix it all of a sudden, but I can definitely help keep what I've got and maybe gain back a little of the mobility I've lost. This is a great exercise for that. So let's do about 4 more and 3. Keep it all engaged. 2, neck long and breathe. 1, and relax and come on up to the seated posture again. This time stretching on this side. I don't know about you, but that felt good. So Amazon customers, thank you for following me. As I said before, I built my home studio thanks to Amazon, backdrop. You know, when the COVID hit and we were told we couldn't go to our clubs anymore, right away I said, I can't let that happen to my clients, to my club members, to myself. And I said, how can I make my living room into a studio? Lights, camera, action, all because of Amazon. So I'm here with you today because of Amazon, as well as because of Sway TV and of course the Ab Lab. All right. Now, where are we going? We're going on to the back side. So we hit the standing, which is so functional because that's what we do. We stand and we move. We hit the hand and knee. We hit the sideline. Got to be 360. Now we're going to get to what you think of as traditional ab work, but not done in traditional way. Are you ready to join me? Come on back with your gorgeous ball. This is such a great tool that we're going to use now, probably one of my favorite for core training. So I'm going to swivel over onto my side. Thank you for the awesome comment. Whoever's awesome, you're awesome too. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the ball. I'm going to position it behind my shoulder blades. Now, I am on the step platform, which I bought at Amazon. Huh, there's a theme here. I'm going to tell you a little story about that later. And you'll notice that when it's underneath my shoulders, I do have to engage my neck to keep it in neutral, but it's kind of elevated me a little bit. And in elevating me, if I put my hands behind my head, I can do an ab crunch and get a little more range of motion so that my crunching action has just as much leeway to go back into what's called spinal extension or arching back with the upper back as I do with forward flexion or bending forward to the spine. My head and neck are neutral. Number one, I brace my abdominals in particular as I arch back slightly so that I don't do any overarching in the lumbar spine. I exhale and I really work through that rib to pelvis abdominal crunch with more range, more control, and just an overall better recruitment of fibers. Smaller range, really, we're not doing the full sit-up. It's very small, but very effective. And here's one more benefit doing the ab crunch over a soft ball or your pillow if you want, is that as I open up, I get a great stretch across my chest. And you know that upper back that tends to get a little hunched, especially you might see it in senior adults where they get, well, we used to call it the hunch or the hump, the dour hump. It really helps to reduce that effect as well if you can keep the muscles mobile and strong to counterbalance it. Now, some is where your bones are locked, and we can't do the world for that, but we can definitely try to lessen the effect of something that might be a little bit more related to bone structure. So it is important to always try to get those posture muscles working in proper alignment, reversing poor alignment. All right, now this last one, we're going to stay in the up, we're going to hold it. And then from here, I'm going to invite you to challenge this by bringing the arms up alongside your head. Feel the challenge. If that's too much, please feel free not to do this. Thank you for playing your records there, doggy, whoever's on the screen. And then if you want to make this a slightly different challenge, bring the arms forward, pulling the shoulder blades down. And if you want to add again that little crisscross, or you can take and go wide and narrow. And again, what we're doing is, I like to call it destabilizing the stable position. Neck, head, shoulders, everything stays stable. Core muscles really firing hard here. Let's do 4, 3, 2, 1. And now let's take one leg, help yourself up slowly. Now, I don't care who you are, you're going to get a little tension in the neck here. So let's go ahead and stretch the back of the neck for a second. Take a nice deep breath, inhale and exhale. Notice how my elbows are resting on my knees. And what that does is it just allows me to turn off my spinal muscles for a second so that I can come back and they're refreshed for the next exercise. All right, take the ball, place it between your knees. I love this next one too. Again, I'm up, might as well get a sip of water. Yep, spin that record. Here we go. Roll down with control. Let your head rest. So I'm on the platform and I'm making sure that I'm positioned so that my head can still be on the platform and I have no stress or tension at the neck. You need to recover from the last exercise, so we don't want to be tensing the neck again. I'm going to bring my legs up with the ball in between. And I'm going to start by just pulsing or pressing the knees towards the ball. I'm going to flex or pull my toes back. It's called flexing ankle. So that I can feel my shins working too. I can click my heels if the ball's not too big or the pillow's not too big. And I'm just doing a little pulsing movement using the inner thigh muscles called the adductors. Squeeze and release This is a little quasi-isometric, meaning that you move, but then you get to that held isometric contraction at the center. Nice. Now we're going to add a little ab to it. We're going to go up, squeeze, down, squeeze. Watch my hips. Up, squeeze, down, squeeze. You can bend your knees a little on this. It's a reverse curl. So my hips come up, my knees pull in and squeeze the ball. It's a little slower than the last pulse. It's recruiting more ab muscles, more of that rectus abdominis and those obliques. Those are some of the core, the key abdominal muscles. And then your inner thighs, your pelvic floor can also be exercised from this position. You kind of pull everything in and up. Exhale and inhale, squeeze and release. And then just to see if you've got it in you, hold it up and stabilize. Try to keep the hips up. You can have your fingers on the floor, but don't over grip it. Try to keep it up. Breathe, breathe, breathe. For 4, for 3, for 2, for 1. Whew. Done. Now, grab the ball. From here, what we're going to do is play a little patty cake. So keep your neck in line with the spine and just take your ball, push and drop, lift and drop. Opposite elbow towards opposite knee, hand towards shoe, little rotation crunch. And if this starts to bother your neck, because yes, indeed, this is a lot of conditioning on the neck muscles, you can always opt not to use the ball and to just keep the hands behind the head. That would be your modification. Crisscross, not too fast. You know, when it comes to working the core, so often slow and controlled is better than fast, okay? Now, that doesn't mean it isn't a good idea to change tempo and pace, because our body has to be able to react fast sometimes. You got to reach to catch the ball. You're playing tennis or whatever the sport might be. So changing dynamics is good. Now we're going to come into the hold. So I want you to put the ball between your palms, stay in rotation, and give me a chest press. You can move both knees in the opposite direction if you want, or stay in the middle. Oh boy, let's do 4, 3, 2, 1. Come back, rest, 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 in particular the neck. All right, come to the other side and do the same thing. Stay into the rotation, add the chest press. See, these are some of the fun extra things you can add on, or not if you have some of these extra tools in your tool chest, your core box. Here we go. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and done. Rest. Very nice. Okay, I don't know about you, but I have felt a nice sense of conditioning in the front panel. Did you feel that? Okay, so it's time for us to address one of our last exercises. So let's go ahead, roll here a little bit, massage the spine a little bit, tuck the chin and stretch the neck a little bit, and then curl all the way up when you feel the momentum to do so. Oh, take a sip of water. So where am I going to take you? I'm going to take you back into the hand and knee position, or actually not the hand and knee. We'll go from hand and knee, but we're going to come down onto our front side. This is called the prone position. If you ever have to take a kinesiology test, you might pass it. I have my master's in kinesiology, so I love teaching you guys, learn and burn. I love teaching you certain things. Even if you're not a trainer, you're just an enthusiast, you know, it is nice to know some of these trivia facts, right? You can impress your friends when you're working out with them. All right, so here we go. We're going to stay with our feet about shoulder width apart. Notice I'm on my step, which I love because it allows me to have a little space here so I don't work my face on the floor. And it's also going to give me a little cliff that I can work my back extensors or the spinal muscles, the deep spinal muscles of the spine. So here we go. We're going to reach the ball out in front of us. We're going to let one leg come up at a time, kind of like flying your Superman, up and down. If you want, thumbs up on the ball, you can be pushing the fist into the surface of the ball or pillow as you alternate the feet and leg lifting. As you're doing this, breathe, number one. Think about your neutral posture. How do you line up the head and the spine, keeping those neutral arches, bracing? Did you forget to brace your abs? Got to brace them even when you're on your abs. I'm still having to tighten and brace those abs. That's it. Tightening your glutes as you lift your legs, working those hip muscles, working those spinal muscles, working those posture muscles. Excellent. 2 more of these. Breathing. And now, let the feet stay down. Take the ball in between your hands. And then what we're going to do is we're going to go up with one, down, up with the other, and down. And you really have to feel this one. You have to say to yourself, how high can I go without it bothering my lower back? So I want to feel this through the spine, but I don't want to feel pain or discomfort at one area of the spine. So I'm just doing an alternating arm reach. Breathing. Inhale and exhale, being very conscious. Number 3, connecting the dot between what I'm telling my body to do with my brain, what's actually happening, and how it's feeling as I'm doing it. Working the side of the core, posterior chain of the body. Last one. And now we're going to stabilize. We're going to start here. Push the palms if you want. If your back is comfortable, you can let your legs kind of lift up, point your toes, lift the spine, tighten the glutes, brace the abs, lengthen and hold 30 seconds. If you cannot hold this, just release to the floor. If this hurts, release to the floor. You want to try, this is one of those moves that they actually did some research showing that if people could hold spinal extension like this for a minute or longer, they were much less likely to have a back injury that next year. So it is a little indicative of how to have a healthy back. Having that core strength to hold spinal extension stable for about a minute is a marker or an indicator. All right, let's go ahead and relax. Let's put the head down. Let's put the arms down. Let's put the feet down. Whew, that was our last exercise. So now guess what? Best part of all is coming up and stretching. So bring it back in, walk it in. I always like to stop or end with a relaxation and cool down stretch session. So let's just start here on our hands and knees. And let's do that same move we did during the warm-up, but from our standing position, where we just manipulate the spine between its 2 opposite actions. So we're going to go up, up, up into flexion. In yoga, they call this the cat back. And then we're going to come to neutral, or yoga, they call it the cow. And then we're going to go further into extension, like a hand and knee cobra. Let's just take it through all 3 positions. Now, be listening, be feeling, be knowing if you're going into something that maybe is too far. That's it. Keep going. Pull in and release out. Excellent. How about your breath? What can we do here? Core controls respiration. So exhale on the up. Use those muscles, diaphragmatic muscles, intercostal muscles. Inhale on the way down. Fill up your belly. Let your belly even kind of, I don't want to say bulge, but inflate. Fill it up deeper, deeper, deeper. Again, exhale fully. Use the muscles of the core. Inhale. Hope you're doing this with me. You can do it from a seated posture as well. And this is one of the better ways to break stress during the day with the cat back and breathing exercise. And then bring it back to neutral. Now, from here, walk the hands closer to the knees. We're getting there, gang. All right, so from here, we're going to take one foot, doesn't matter which one, and we're going to just stretch it out. See, so I'm kind of in a 3-point position. And I really like to go over this slowly because it is the key to getting up off the floor, no matter what age you are, being able to learn. If I had fallen down and I can't get up, this is how to get up. You want to first come to your hands and knees, and then you want to scoot one leg slowly around so that it becomes a little banister on the side. And then from this banister position, you want to come up. And yes, please stay tuned for my carousel. That's coming up next. Don't leave. There are some products we need to talk about. All right. So now that I'm in this stance with one leg in front and one in back, there's a lot of cool things I can do. I can open up my chest and stretch my upper body. These muscles, they are overly shortened. Why? Because we're here all the time, typing, reading. We need to open up the chest and anterior deltoid, that front shoulder. So you can interlace your fingers and do that right here. You can also put your focus on this hip. You can't see mine, so let me pivot around. This back hip. If I tighten my buttocks, it really pulls that stretch directly through a very over tight muscle called the hip flexor. And again, seated posture, sitting too long, I call it professional sitter's disease, is a real culprit of this becoming too tight. And it tugs on your core. It takes everything out of alignment. So mobility is as important to the core as every sit-up you've ever done. Now take both arms and reach up and see how you now maximize the lat stretch, the torso stretch, the hip flexor stretch. Are you still remembering point 2? Bracing, zipping, tightening, keeping the core in alignment even while you stretch. Core training is not just about the movements, it's about the stretches as well. That's why I said core and more. I mean it. And then let those arms come down. You've had a nice time under tension of stretch for this. Usually you want at least 20 to 30 seconds. Longer is even better. And so from there, and I'm just pivoting so we can show you what we're going to do. We're going to come back to hands and knees. We're going to work around gently, gingerly, so that you don't tweak or torque any of the lower joints like the ankle or knee. We're going to bring it back. Then we're going to take the other leg out. Make sure I don't kick over my brick wall. Bring it in front. Use it as the banister. Push yourself up. Open up the chest. Pull those shoulder blades together behind you. Doesn't that feel great? Pull them downward. So you're going to stretch neck. You're going to stretch the chest. You're going to stretch the shoulders. Hold. Brace. Number 1, alignment. Is my head over my shoulders? Are my shoulders over my hips? Remember, these points never go away. Like our carousel of products, they're always there. Alignment has to always be there, whether you're in the kneeling, the sitting, the standing, the supine. That's what the Ab Lab is all about, is reinforcement and learning and sharing, a community, the Ab Lab. All right, back to the front. What did we do next? We really focused in on under tucking the buttocks, so pelvic tilt under, and then taking the arms up and over and feeling that chain of stretch down the arm, the tricep, the lats, the torso, the hip flexor, the quadricep. Very nice. If you pull your toe under in the back, you also feel stretching your calf. What do you need to remember? Bracing, lining. Now I am going out of alignment to stretch slightly, but I'm moving in one piece. I'm not slouching or overarching my lower back. So you have to always be aware of that. Yes, please stay tuned for my carousel, please. All right, now from here, we've held that tension. I'm hearing a little snap, crackle, pop down there in that hip. And ain't because of the Rice Krispies. All right, let's go ahead and put the hands forward. And then from here, we're going to get that foot. Now you can't see mine, but I'm going to push my foot so that it's right under my knee. That's going to give me the most stable base to then leverage my body weight. So this is for those of you that know someone, it's not you, right? That know someone that might have trouble getting up off the floor. A lot of times it's leverage and angle. So you want that knee here. My torso is kind of leaning forward, almost like if you're going to shoot me out of a cannon, right? And then I'm put my hands on that side and I'm going to use my buttocks muscle to shoot my body up out of the cannon and centered. We did it. Legs wide, rolling those shoulder blades back and down. Thinking about it, how do I feel? Do I feel strong? Do I feel like I'm still in great alignment? Yes, I do. After a good core training session, you should feel fired up. You should feel stable. You should feel flexible. You should feel now like if I wanted to go out for a run, I'm going to have better running form than I ever had before. Maybe it's just a walk. But whatever it is, bring the feet in together and circle those shoulders back and around. Strong and healthy core training affects every movement. It affects everything you do, even, believe it or not, and I'm going to get some water, and we're going to bring it on in now, everybody, to the carousel. Even if you're just stuck home or at the office, having a strong core transfers over to better seated posture, transfers over to less fatigue in the neck, in the low back, in the shoulders, because once you've got stable strength, it comes into play in all postures. And anytime you're in one position for a long time, that's where we start to feel aches and pains. So even if you are stuck at the desk, please do try to get up and move every, I don't know, I like to say every 15 to 20 minutes, get up, shake it off, and just move around. All right, so it is time now for us to chat. It's time for me to talk a little bit and share my screen. So I'm going to move into this position and do a little screen share for you so you can see some of those products that I love and I would love for you to take a look at on Amazon and see if it's something that might enhance your programming as well. So there's my screen share, and I'm going to go over to my favorite products and share them with you. Now, as I'm sharing these products, please, please, please feel free to continue asking me any questions you have about fitness. And I have one already here on the screen, which is one of our Amazon customers wanting to know, what do I use during my workout? Well, let's start with this workout. This is what I call the minimalistic workout. My favorite piece was, and I'll bring it right up here, my gorgeous ball. Not just the name was lovely, but also the shape and the ease of inflation. There are a lot of different balls you can buy, but this one is really cool because you see this little white pin, and also I listed it up on the carousel as well as in the box of the screen now. This pops out. So, and then you have a little straw that you can just at any time add more air or take some air out. So it's not like a ball. If you've ever bought like one of those market balls and after a couple of months you go and look at it and it's shriveled and you can't really figure out what kind of pump to pump it up with. This one comes with a very simple to inflate, and you want them to be a little like ripe, I call it, because you are going to push it into places and compress it. There's so many great things, even just finger and grip strength. And oh, I could do like 2 hours just on this ball. Now, the reason I listed the kit was because I want you to have a real ball, and that means you've got alternate balls in the actual kit. Now, this is more for compression and fascia release. If you've never heard of that, if you've ever gone to masseuse and they find a little, oh, it's tender there, that's usually some fascia, which is a connective tissue that binds and sometimes causes a little stress and pain. So you can use these for self-massage. You basically lay down on the ball. The reason it's in this handy little bag is that it allows you some space for your spinal vertebra if you want to use it there. And you just lay on it, and then say if I'm laying on the floor, I just rock my head slowly from right to left, and oh, I'm going to hit so many like really cool tender spots. And then you hold it there for a few seconds to get the neurological effect, which is for those knots to kind of release, to keep it very simple and not too technical. You can also put it under the thigh and massage out the same way. It's kind of like the foam rollers, and I have a couple foam rollers that I really like in the shopper window as well. This is just one that I really like for the spine, and because we were talking core, I wanted to put that up in the carousel. So I do love this product. The actual maker of it is Tune Up Fitness, and the gal that is in charge of all their programming is an excellent presenter. It does come with some video and DVDs, I believe. If this packet doesn't, there are other ones that do that are really a great reinforcement. Let me grab mine and show you. So Jill Miller is her name. And yes, I've met her. Why? Because I also run an event called the Fit Expo, and it's a huge enthusiast and consumer type event where there's all these great people that come and share their new ideas live at an event, similar to what we will be doing with the Ab Lab on a more media or a more digital platform. So I met Jill. She did her workshops for us, and I love featuring her products and her programming. They're excellent. So what else? Let's see. We used the ball today. Let's go back and see what else. Let's see. All right. So we used my cushy mat, which I think is here somewhere. Let me find it. Oh, maybe it's not here. Well, I love a nice mat, and the mat that I purchased is an Amazon mat. Here it is. Why? Because it's an inch thick. That is really cool. So when I am on the mat, it really gives, let me see that, a lot of cushioning. And I kind of have my spine is a little bony. So if I'm on the floor, it's and so this really helps. And it's a great yoga mat. It's a great conditioning mat just for your weight training. It's reasonably priced and comes in a variety of colors, so you can match your motifs. So that was the second product that we used today that's in my carousel here on Sway TV and Amazon Live. We also use some dumbbells. Now, again, sometimes I just like going with basics. And the reason that I wanted to highlight this particular set is because it really is neat to be able to have increments. So this particular set, which retails on Amazon very, very reasonably, and they're neoprene, so they stay coated, they don't rust, they feel good in your hand. It comes in a 5, 3, and 2 pound. And what's great about that is, like, those core training exercises, literally 2 pounds is enough. But later on, if I really want to focus in on a specific muscle group, my deltoids or my lats or something, I need heavier. Or if you have been building and doing a lot of strength training over the years, you might find that you want to, get up in the 10s, 15s, 20 pounders. And that's the other thing I love. If you see here, if I click around, you can see that they come in different increments. So, where my husband might want to work with 15s and the 5s are great for me. And I love this tree. So that was a second recommendation for today's workout specific. And so we had the weights, we had the ball. I utilized the step platform, and it is one of my go-to staples when I work out. Why? Because you can get this reasonably priced circuit style, which is a little shorter, only $34. I was on the full length, but you see those, they call them risers. Grab mine real quick. They build up kind of like a Lego system. So you can have 2, 4, 1, none, and you can customize this bench to be any height that you want. Not any height, but a reasonable height, going from 4 to 8 inches. So if you're doing step training, which is just an up, up, down, down, like you're stair climbing, you actually can increase your intensity without increasing the stress or the impact by just lifting the step to a higher step. It's very simple, and you can offset it so that it's an incline. It's one of those pieces that for not a lot of money and not a lot of space is multi-purpose. I used it during the floor and core. I use it for cardio. I use it for strength. But if you want to go back to my carousel, you'll see that there are also other versions of a bench or a training platform that are a little more costly. Let's see what that is. Sorry, I don't want to make it, but it also adds other things that you can do on it. Something like this, the Flybird adjustable bench, which might be something that will give you a little more option for some of the ab work and the degree or the angle of that back of the piece to be able to incline at so many different levels. So, right now, the great thing, I'm going to play a little video for the fun of it. Oh, if I'm going to play the video, I can't be using my ear set. So let's see, let me take this off. You can see it anyway, right?
It really does allow you to do so much more. you're in, and you can hear me and see me and these products that I really enjoy on Amazon. One more product that I really do want to talk about, and I hope to focus on it in another workout. Today, I really wanted to talk about the abs, talk about the core, talk about the ab lab, but I got a new favorite that I want to share with you, and I would love to highlight it. Where'd it go? Where'd it go? So sorry, guys. It's up here. Here we go. All right. So this is the 60 Up Balance Training System. It was designed by Dan Metcalf, and I'd love to invite him to talk about it because it has such a big carryover to, in particular, core training and that ability to brace, as well as that neurological connection to all movement. It was really brought onto the market as an alternative balance trainer for people that are maybe a little older, 60 up. But so with that said, you know, we really want to make sure, my camera down as I sit, makes it a little easier for you to see me. We want to make sure that you're safe when you're doing balance work. So you can see those handles that are on the board, they actually come out if you just want to use it as a wobble board. But it makes it so secure and gives so many great options for some of the moves I did, you know, those balance moves where I said, well, if you have a chair nearby, you're going to be able to help. You can hold those balance poles and have the wobble board, and boom, your core training or your core and more goes to a whole new direction. So it has a lot of extra bells and whistles. And I want to talk about it more in another workout because it does carry over so much to balance and senior fitness. And I know at some point that Dan would probably love to join me and speak firsthand to it. So that is my third, not in this workout, but still very much enjoy that product. And from there, I think that's enough product talk. Does anybody, before we sign off, I have to say once again, I cannot thank Sway TV enough for the opportunity, for the lab, for Amazon, and I told you I'd tell you a funny story about Amazon, and for all of you that joined me today. Any questions that you have? I love talking fitness. I love talking core. I love talking healthy lifestyle. I am a university professor and have taught health and wellness for over a decade. So I love just taking those questions on the fly that you might have. My story about Amazon is that I truly love the convenience of Amazon shopping to the point where you might say I'm a part of AA, which is Amazon Anonymous. And what that means to me is that I have to sometimes hide the purchases before my husband gets home, because the running joke is there's another delivery for you on the porch. And I start to feel like I'm a little addicted, but it's a good addiction because the convenience and the ease at which I can exchange or send things back, and just the variety. I mean, I literally can put in anything in the search box that I need for tomorrow's workout and have it sent in 24 hours because I have the Prime membership. And that is something I've become addicted to, dependent on, and just thankful for, especially during this period where we are a little bit on lockdown. So I don't know, I'd like to ask you guys, if anybody's still out there and watching, what are your favorite things to do? Do you have any questions about the Ab Lab? I know I briefly told you it's this kind of new platform that's going to act as a community for all things healthy core living, all things fitness, in particular, though, the networking aspect. So think of this digital kind of a ping pong adventure where you can connect with participants and you can share and you can get excited and you can talk and you can find out about how to become certified. You can find out about how to get continuing ed units if you're already certified. You can get discounts. You can yourself become a certified Ab Lab trainer, and we then can network with you and hopefully bring you out there to the public so you can share all your great knowledge and enthusiasm. So really, it's going to have all these different ways we're going to have a lounge where you can learn things, see things, do things. It's going to be just one of the first of its kind And there's just so much that can happen on the Ab Lab D app as well as platform. So please do sign up or reach out to me at info@the Ab Lab. The is very important because it establishes it from maybe other ab products or ab programs. So the Ab Lab, I am a program developer for them, one of the head program developers, but we are networking and bringing in other experts all the time, maybe you. And as I said, if you're just an enthusiast, you are going to learn like you were a pro. Learn and burn. That is my saying. We need to understand why we're doing it to do it right. And that's my job, is to help you know how to work out right and where to reach people, products, programs, clubs. They'll all be on this platform. So I hope you're going to join us as well, and stick with Sway TV, because Sway TV is also a community for all things just lifestyle, healthy lifestyle. And I've watched so many of the other hosts over the last few weeks and been so impressed with the information that they deliver, from hairstyling to child rearing to senior specific exercises, which is another one of my favorites. And I hope to bring my favorite chair workout and more in the future. But again, if there's anything else that you guys really would like to discuss with me, you can also reach me at, again, I'll say it one more time, info@the Ab Lab. Okay, that would be an email address.com that you can reach me at. And love reaching out and hearing about you. So let's see, what else could I talk about before we do our final farewell? Well, besides my carousel and the products, there are a few contests going on. Please check in with some of the other presenters. I know they're doing something with one of those councils, the gaming council, PS5. I know that they're doing Amazon gift card giveaways. We're really trying to build this platform because it is such an exciting new thing to know you can go on Amazon to do more than just shop. You can also walk away with lifestyle tools and workouts and so much more. I'm thrilled to be a part of it here. And again, on behalf of Ab Lab, I just want to thank you for joining me. I hope you did my workout, floor, core, and more, and all things core. Hope you learned a little bit. Let's review: posture, bracing, connecting the dots, and using it through every movement in life. And with that said, I'm going to go today, and I'm just going to sway my way out of Sway TV, but I want to thank you. So let's sway until next time.